Could you find us, just put Bible verses justice.
But where is the love?
That's all you need to put. Bible verses justice, and find me a bunch of Bible verses on justice.
Yeah, just find justice.
What, sorry?
Love.
Yes, I do love. Yes, brother, I do love. I'm not saying this because I hate you. I'm saying this because the Quran says that me and you should compete in what leads us to the greatest virtue. Yeah, because you're not interrupting. Go on.
But basically, you said there's some bad things that happen to Christians in countries that are now where Muslims live.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, you can't really blame Islam for that because they're not Islamic states as such. They're secular states, and a lot of them are, in fact, client states of the United States and UK as well. They're very close allies of Britain and America.
Okay, shall I reply?
Go on.
Okay. So firstly, I don't know at what point you joined this conversation, but I actually demonstrated quoting Surah 929 and the commentaries by people. I'll give you a list.
No, I accept that.
Let me finish. I'll let you finish. By quoting the commentaries of people like Ibn Musayyib, Al-Sayuti, Zamakhshari, Ibn Kathir, who say that Surah 929 is about fighting Christians because they are Christians and fighting Christians to extract their wealth.
No, again, but the thing is, so you're saying that because those verses are in the Quran, that's the reason why Christians are being treated badly in these countries. I'm saying that's not the reason. I'm saying the actual reason, because they're not Islamic states.
So let me reply.
They're not reading the Quran and thinking, oh, let's treat the Christians badly.
Yeah.
These people, the people who rule these countries, they listen more to America, they listen more to the UK than to the Quran.
Yeah.
So I can't see how it's the Quran that's caused the problem.
So here's...
Because when the Quran was being listened to, they were not being treated like this.
Okay, so let me just say that again. Now, whether you know it's not true or not, I don't know. God knows your heart. But Christians were treated as second-class citizens under the Ottoman Empire. They were treated as second-class citizens under the Abbasid Empire. They were treated as second-class citizens under the Umayyad Empire, the Fatimid Empire, and any single Islamic empire, Shia or Sunni, that you want to talk about. And even today in Saudi Arabia and Iran, countries that claim to be governed by Sharia law, according to their own statements, whether you agree with them or not, Christians are also treated as second-class citizens. So this is not something that is unique to dictatorships like Bashar al-Assad or al-Sisi in Egypt, who actually treats Christians better than the Muslim Brotherhood did. Right? So my point to you is, so I'm going to land. So my point to you is that it is actually something that has been the experience of 1400 years.
So
Thank you, you agree. Thank you.
Can I say something though? But this is, because Muslims, they want best for the Christians and salvation. So that's the reason they did it in the past. But I would say more disturbingly is, in a way, I don't like saying this, but I'm also a second-class citizen here in the UK. Because our citizenship can be removed with no comeback.
Right, so
I could go out of the country, so citizenship is irrelevant here.
Yeah, and I support that, because I think that anyone who is an Islamist should be deported.
No, it's not just Islamists, it's anyone can just get their citizenship stripped.
Well, I agree, but hold on 1 second. Anyone means...
Then you agree
One
with
second, hold on 1 second. 1 second. That law applies to anyone. If I, as a British-born person, with my family's history, having lived here for over 1,000 years, that I can trace, if I went and joined ISIS, my citizenship could also be stripped. So, 1 second. The law is the same for both me and you. Yes, it is. That is a lie. Everyone under British law follows the same laws. All of us.
No, because what it is
right? But the point is.
Well, can I say something?
I'm landing.
Yeah.
But the point is, according to the laws of dimitude, Christians are treated as second-class citizens with a separate set of laws that govern them. And you're justifying that.
I said to you that I'm a second-class citizen. And the reason why I'm a second-class citizen now is that if you're like first generation or second generation and your parents are foreign, then they can just say, oh, okay, because you've got foreign parents, we can just take your citizenship away. So that's a second-class citizenship. That can't happen to you.
Yes, it can.
Because the reason why it can't happen is because they'll say, well, your grandparents were from here, so your great-grandparents were from here as well. So there's no other country we can send you to.
Sorry, bear with us 1 second.
So in a way,
Brother, you shush. You shush. You're the one that's bringing the aggravation. I can hear it. I'm trying to talk to him. All I can hear is you. All I can hear. No one's your dhimmi. Go away, you little Islamist. Go away. Go away. No one's interested. No one's your dhimmi. Go away, little Islamist. Go away, little Islamist.
So the thing is, I would argue that we are second-class citizenship. So there shouldn't.
Brother, I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it.
So we're also, like, for example, we're now second-class citizens within the UK, and that's just the way it is. So sometimes, but at least with Islam, they made people second-class citizens because they loved them and they wanted to bring them towards the truth and worshipping one God,
right?
The way Jesus worshipped one God.
So let me reply to that, because you've just admitted that my whole thesis is correct. But let me finish. I'll let you finish. You've just admitted my entire thesis is correct, that is how Muslims treat Christians for 1400 years. Let me finish. No, that's not true. Let me finish. Let me true. Right, if you're just going to talk over me, I'll just start talking over you. You'll get upset. But you've just admitted my entire thesis is true. So, but then you actually said something that's not a fact. The reality is, any British citizen, no matter how long their family's lived here, if they go and join ISIS, can have their nationality stripped from them. I could. The same law applies to everyone. It's just that a majority of those from Britain who went to fight for ISIS happen to come from the descendants of immigrants. Let me finish. No, I'm gonna land. So now the question is, if we were to pass laws that treat Muslims like dhimmis. So laws. No, that's a lie. No, we're all subject to that. Most referrals are from right-wing politics. Most referrals are from right-wing politics, and they're white because the left-wing teachers have hijacked the whole program. So that's just not true, is it? It's just not a fact.
We feel like second-class citizens, and I think we are.
I don't buy into this victimhood narrative of Muslims. You victimize other groups. Muslims victimize other groups in this country. Muslims tried to kill Nisa Hussein. I know Christians who are hiding their Christianity from their Muslim parents. I know Christians who have been kicked out of their homes by their Muslim parents. I know Christians who have been driven out of cities because the Muslims wouldn't accept that they left Islam. Muslims have harassed the Jewish community in London on a regular basis, every time it flares up in Palestine. This victim narrative, anyone with intelligence wouldn't buy it. You are the ones that are victimizing others, and Muslims who do that need to be called out.
The crimes of others, but do you think Christians, maybe somebody from the Christian background might have done some bad things as well, or is it just Muslims who do bad things?
Can I answer that?
Go on.
Okay, so you bring up a very valid point. So what we need to do is measure whether the behaviour of the Muslim that attacked a church in East London and tried to tear down its cross is represented by the teachings of the books, versus whether a Christian who, say, maybe leaves a pig's head that he bought at a butcher's on a mosque doorstep is representative of the teachings of the New Testament. So here's my point. I'm going to show you verses verses from Hadith and Quran that justify Muslims persecuting Christians. Your challenge now is to find me verses from the New Testament that justify Christians persecuting Muslims. Shall we do that trade? Do you want to do that?
No.
You don't. You
know why? Because you need to look at the life story of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. How did he treat minorities around him? Not like just looking at verses that are about war and how to conduct war. which is what you're reading. So you're not really, you can't just look at a verse out of context. So that's within a war. Now, for example, Israel and Palestine are going to war. Do you think that when Israel is firing missiles, flowers are landing? That's, so the thing is, when you're talking about neighbors, then you look at verses about being neighborly, or hadith, sayings about how you treat your neighbor, and you'll find lots of positive things in there about how you treat your neighbors, if they are Jewish, if they are Christian, and so on and so forth, Bob.
Can I read you?
If you're reading verses about war, then obviously, you're going to think, wow, what is that? But that's not an everyday context. So you have to get the context right.
Right, so let me just read something to you. Bear with us 1 second while I find it.
Yeah, I heard, because I think the British and American government...
Right, hold on 1 second.
They did say that...
Hold on 1 second.
Israel is
Do you condemn the treatment of Muslims in Burma where they were ethnically cleansed? Where they were all driven out by the Burmese government? Do you condemn what I'm sure you believe is Israel's attempt to cleanse the Palestinians of Gaza?
Yeah, they shouldn't do that. Yeah,
right, is that bad?
That's bad, yeah.
Right, so now let me read a hadith to you from Sahih al-Muslim, 1767a. It has been narrated by Umar bi al-Khattab that he heard the messenger of Allah say, I will expel the Jews and the Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and will not leave any but the Muslims. So if you're going to condemn ethnic cleansing, if you're going to be consistent, then you now need to condemn Muhammad. But you won't. And this is exactly why no one should believe the lies of Dawagandists.
Can I answer?
Let me finish. Muhammad here is only as good as the worst Catholic, the worst Zionist that you can think of. Because Muhammad is doing what the worst Catholic and the worst Zionist did. Yeah, go on.
But my answer to that would be, we need to again think about what year we're living in.
Yeah.
What rules are we, because now the rules and the system that was in place, there was no UN in those days. Right now there's a United Nations. Nations have agreed to certain things and certain rules. And that includes the so-called Muslim nations as well. So within today's context, if everyone's agreed that we're going to follow these United Nations rules, then you can't now just say, all right, I'm not going to do it. Ethnic cleansing is fine in this case, but it's not fine in that case. There has to be a level playing field. In the olden days, there was no such playing field. So it's called the logical fallacy of anachronism, if I got that right.
Yeah, anachronistic statements are fallacious, that's true.
So basically you're not comparing like with like. So what was done in the past, there was a different set of rules.
Yeah.
There were no such thing as a nation states. There was no such thing as non-aggression, and fixed borders. So things have completely, moved on since.
But all of these things, right, that you're now appealing to, and I applaud you for appealing to them, because it makes you a better man. But all of those...
I'm not appealing to
No, you just did.
That's the current situation.
You just did appeal to these things.
I'm not saying that's right or that's wrong. I'm saying in the olden days there was a different system.
Let me finish.
And now there's a different system.
Let me finish. So all of these things that you're appealing to were established in reference to the Judeo-Christian tradition. The idea of the nation state was created at the Peace of Westphalia. The idea of not fighting or targeting non-combatants is based on the just war principles of the Christian Church. The UN and all of its laws, when it first emerged and established these ideas, and the idea of the nation state, which is a post-colonialist creation across the Muslim world, all of those things are rooted in the Judeo-Christian tradition. All of them. And so I agree, Christianity has made the Muslim world better. But it's following the Judeo-Christian tradition that made the Muslim world better, not following the example of Muhammad.
I don't think working in a sweatshop for £1 a day is an upliftment.
I agree. That isn't.
And economic exploitation. If you think that's upliftment, you know.
However,
anyway, Bob, I've got to go now.
Right, it was lovely. What's your name, bro?
Nazir.
Nazir, I do like speaking to polite people. You're very polite, so I'd like to give you a gift. I'd like to give you a gift. Do you have a Bible at home?
I may have, but I stopped. No, I
It's okay.
had one in the past, but I don't think I've.
Let me, then I'd like to give you a gift.
To be honest, Bob, I haven't read any books for a long time. I don't read anymore.
You're not a big reader?
No, I
Then-
stopped reading a long time ago.
Then what I want
On
to,
the internet, you just watch YouTube.
then in that case, I want to give you my own YouTube channel.
I don't even read books in general.
That's fine. That's fine. Not everyone's a big reader. It's a thing.
No, it's not
So
that my mind is dead.
get in touch, bro.
Yeah.
And if you want to keep talking, I really enjoyed it, and I'd welcome the conversation with you again.
Thank you so much, Bob.
You look after. Have a good day
Thank you.
and a safe day.
Thank you.
Take care. So, ladies and gentlemen. What happened there? We caught Dawagandis with her pants down. Again, with her pants down. Once again, spewing out lies that can easily be disproven by just taking the time to look at the evidence. And that's what we've got, ladies and gentlemen. I want to invite every single person who watches this video, go and look up the persecution of Assyrian Christians, Lebanese Christians, Palestinian Christians, Iraqi Christians, Afghani Christians, Sudanese Christians, Nigerian Christians. Don't believe me. Don't believe the Muslim apologists that you might meet, whether you meet them in a mosque or whether you meet them here in the park. Go directly to their churches and ask those Christians from those communities whether for 1400 years they have suffered persecution. And then compare their testimony to the lies of your favourite left-wing celebrity. And then when you've recognised that actually you are being lied to by the mainstream media, by that mainstream media,